Welcome back to another video, guys. It's Ryan from Kirbside Cleaning, and we are still in the first couple of weeks of January, so we still have no pressure washing work. So again, I'm going to hit another one of my little backup idea video titles which could help one of you guys this year starting your own business. Now, the title of today's video, which is probably why you've clicked on it already, is going to be the best pressure washing setup to cover every job. So what you can buy to start off with, which can almost guarantee you can do every single pressure washing job, whether it be a driveway, a patio, decking, brick wall, whatever it might be, sort of the bare bones but not the cheapest, just good bits of equipment which can help you succeed in business this year. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it with looking at pressure washers. Right, it's important to note that if you are thinking about starting a pressure washing company in 2024, you're going to be realistically looking at spending around about £3,000 to £4,000 to get the optimal setup for doing every job possible. Now that's not going to include roof cleaning, because that's a slightly different beast in of itself, and would require some more specialist equipment, but that will include all driveways, patios, walls, decking, anything that you could pressure wash, reasonably it will include. So starting off with, we need to look at a machine. Now, you're going to be wanting a machine that's got an adjustable pressure gauge on it, because not every job can be used, can be done at full pressure, or you wouldn't want to do every job at full pressure. So the best package that I have found online that sort of includes the most bang for your buck would be this WaterTech Honda GX390 from Rutland Pumps starter package. Now, the base package itself is 2,183 plus the VAT, so just over £2,600. But there are a couple of things that you can add on to that I would recommend adding on, but aren't necessarily needed. Now, this package, as you can see, comes with the pressure washer itself. It's a Honda GX390 engine, which is a very, very good engine, very, very reliable, easy to service, almost bulletproof, he says. Comes with a turbo nozzle, 4 different fan nozzles in this little one-piece connector, which is super easy to use and easy to not lose. Basically, those little smaller colourful ones are quite easy to lose. Comes with a straight lance up the top there, the surface cleaner, a trigger with coup connection. Now, this is important for speed on jobs. Coup connections, I moved over to coup connections about a year ago now. And it saves you so much time. So beforehand, I used to have to turn my machine off, unconnect everything, even with quick connectors, unconnect everything, swap over to, say, the surface cleaner, and then turn the machine back on, do a bit with the surface cleaner, switch everything off, release all the pressure, unclip the hose, put the trigger back on, which was a nightmare. But with coup connection, you connect your hose straight to the bottom of the trigger, and then the coup connection, this bit here, goes into either there. You can then take that off whilst the machine's running, plug it straight into the lance. So yeah, it comes with the hose, the suction and return pipes for the pressure washer itself, and then you get this setup as well, which I believe, now I'm not wrong, but those bits are for connecting to a tank, and that bit is for connecting to a bin. So it's a float valve. So as the bin fills up, as it gets to the top of the bin, the float valve will lift and it will stop the water from flowing in. Very, very good bit of kit, which I've got. So the only thing you need on this setup to really get going straight away is a water bin, and you can pretty much go off the bat. But like I said, there's a couple of bits that you might want to add to that. So quick release fittings, they add 18 quid onto it. Saves you loads of time with the hose. So instead of screwing the hose on with the M22 fitting, it has a quick connect, so you just pop quick, connect it on, very easy to use, and for 18 quid will save you 10 minutes a job. You can add a pressure gauge if you want. You know, it's something that's useful when you first start out, but as you do more jobs, you'll learn what pressures. So you start at max. Say you're doing decking, you might want to turn it down to half. If you were cleaning a roof, you turn it down to like 1/4, and so on and so forth. So you do learn how to gauge the pressure, but for 20 quid, if you've got it to spend, then by all means add it. It's a handy bit of kit to have. So then you've got hose reel options. Now you can have this hose reel mounted to your machine, which means this is all in one piece, ready to go. You haven't got to lug around, you know, your hose pipe and connect it every time. It stays connected. You just reel it out, and you can also upgrade to 40 meters of hose there for an extra £372. Now, some of you might think that's not really necessary, but one thing that saves me a hell of a lot of time on jobs is setting up in one position and being able to do the whole job from that one position. Now, when you've got 20 meters of hose, I'm assuming that comes with it because that's what's mounted. Let's have a quick look. Doesn't actually say, but yeah, I would assume that it's 20 meters of hose, unless I'm missing it there and someone can point that out in the comments. 20 meters of hose is good, and we'll be able to do sort of a whole driveway, but if you're doing a driveway and a patio, it can sometimes not be enough, and you have to reposition the machine, which can be a bit of a nightmare. Sometimes you're doing a patio and the customer hasn't got side access. Instead of having to take the machine all the way through the house, you can set up out the front and just run your pressure hose through. And with 40 meters of hose, that, you know, that's invaluable, and it saves so much time having to stop, empty your water bucket, move positions and whatnot. I promise you, it saves so much time. So moving on to the next couple of bits that you need for your pressure washing setup. Now, the one thing that isn't included in that starter package is a water bin. Now, the easiest and cheapest easiest and cheapest option I've found is a wheelie bin. Now, these wheelie bins come in all different colours. I've got a yellow one for my branding. My branding is yellow, so depending on the colours of your business, you can sort of brand them a little bit. But they are nice and cheap. So that is a big wheelie bin. That one, 240 litres. Even this one's pretty big. I've got an 80 litre one, which these little ones here, 30 quid. I think you pay a bit of delivery as well. But they do come in bigger sizes if you wanted something bigger. The only issue you have with these bigger ones, the more water they hold, the heavier they are, and if you sort of like try and move it and then it flops down, it can crack at the bottom because of the weight of the water. So I'd recommend, if you're going to go wheelie bin route, sticking to the 140 or the 80 litre. There's not a huge amount of difference in it, but they are quite a bit different in size. Right, so that is everything that you will need to carry out every single job, pressure washing wise. There are a couple more bits that I would recommend getting if you've got the spare money, or something to maybe put down as a goal once you've done your first few jobs. Put a little bit of money aside from the first few jobs to pay for these. Now, the first one, which I'll put a picture of them or an example on the screen. The first one would be a chemical application nozzle. Now, when you apply chemical to a job, and again, I know lots of companies that don't use chemical, but I personally think it is absolutely necessity to carry out the best possible job that you can do. And there's certain jobs that you just wouldn't come up clean without chemical. So you can apply it with like a watering can, knock it up at your desired strength, pour it on, scrub it in with a brush, leave for 20 minutes. But what you can do is use one of these chemical application nozzles. One end goes into the barrel of chemical that's not been watered down. The other one's obviously on the end of your trigger. And it automatically doses up for you, depending on what strength you want to go for. Then that sprays onto the driveway or patio, whatever you're cleaning. It's done in 30 seconds to a minute. Saves you saves super amount of time. but also, you know, it's just really efficient way of getting chemical down. The other thing that I would recommend getting, if you've got the spare money, is a small surface cleaner. Now, this one isn't so much of a necessity, and for a good couple of years I didn't have one. I bought one when I started going into the roof cleaning, but I do regularly use it on pressure washing jobs. It's great for getting closer into the corners on maybe some Indians. If you've got a small amount of Indian sandstone where you don't want to get out the whole big surface cleaner, and it might be up, down, up, down, up, down, with the big surface cleaner you can use the smaller one. You get slightly better pressure output from it because it's smaller. It's also works great on brick walls, works great on decking. It is just really a nice tool to have in your arsenal if you wanted to use it. Again, it's not a necessity. It sort of does the same thing as a fan jet, but just a lot quicker. It'll save you some time on certain jobs. So the reason I made this video is because I get a lot of messages through social media, comments on YouTube, asking lots of different questions. This is one of the more popular questions that I get asked. What should I buy? What do you recommend? So I thought I'd make this video because I understand there's a fair few of you that are looking to start a business, especially 2024. Cost of living is going up, and I know a lot of you are going to want to be looking for little side hustles that you can add on for the weekends or whatever you might want to do, whether you're looking to do it full-time or part-time. I'd still recommend getting a better, more decent equipment than what's cheaply available on the market. You will just be shooting yourself in the foot, time-wise and, you know, outcome-wise. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. If you've got any other questions that you'd like answered or like a video about, then please just drop a comment, find me on social media, drop me a message. I'm always up for adding to my long list of available ideas for videos to make. Obviously, if the start of the year stays quiet, then there'll be a couple more of these types of videos coming out before the pressure washing season really kicks in. But yeah, like I said, hope you enjoy the video, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.